Lucky Boys Podcast.
It's always fun kind of walking into those restaurants too. Sometimes you walk up a few different hallways and you don't know where you are. You just end up in a random place. There's a restaurant I went to, I forget the name of it, but it's a Tibetan restaurant in Queens, I believe Jackson Heights. And I looked it up on Yelp and I said, oh, this place looks pretty cool. Anthony Bourdain came here. So why don't I check it out? And I walk into the correct address, right? And I look outside, and it is like electronics store. And then like deeper in, like they're selling clothes or something.
So it's an electronics store and then a clothing department store.
Yeah.
You gotta keep walking.
So and there's like a cell phone store there, like within one area. I'm like, where am I? So I walked back and forth a few times. I thought I had the wrong address, right? I asked the people there. They didn't really speak English. They didn't really know. So I had to YouTube it and look it up on Yelp on how to get inside. Apparently, you walk inside, you make a right into the cell phone store, and then you make a left, and you walk down a little hallway, and then you enter a tiny hidden restaurant.
It's like a speakeasy.
Wow, yeah.
It's crazy.
Exactly, yeah. Speakeasy restaurant, yeah.
So getting there was an adventure itself, and just for me, it's also about learning where the food comes from. Mm-hmm. I think every dish has history behind it.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about New York. It's like you have these like secret areas of the city, and people, all diverse groups of people live here, and then they set up shop. It's that they're serving their community, not necessarily outside of the community sometimes, and people who are read about it, they want to check it out. Yeah, and then that's like this. It's amazing that we have that here in New York City.
Yeah, and with the blog, I feel like not everyone knows about these places, so it was a good way for me to show it to people.
So how do you find out about these places?
I look at other food bloggers. I also look on Yelp. That's my main source. I'm a big fan of Mikey Cheng on YouTube.
Simply Dumpling or Strictly
Dumpling? Strictly Dumpling.
Strictly Dumpling,
yeah. So I kind of just find them by accident and look up the reviews and just wander in sometimes.
I was watching something on Netflix. I don't know if you saw it. It's Street Foods.
I haven't watched
that's the time.
it,
so they have one that's Asian street food in Asian America. In Asian countries, and then in Latin America, they have a street food. And I just saw some of the stories behind it. It was absolutely incredible. Where one specifically that stuck out to me was the one in Brazil. And this lady, she had a stutter issue. And a lot of people made fun of her. She lives right by the sea, and people were people were just like unaccepting of her. And these three brothers tasted her food once, and it was like, this is amazing. So they made a Facebook post about it. People started coming in to try her food.
I think I saw that one.
Right.
Was it the episode where it's like, I don't have any fish, go catch a fish for me.
Yeah.
And then I'll cook it for you.
Right.
Okay.
That was amazing. Yeah.
So interesting.
And so they did that. And so people just started going to her house to eat. And she was like, I'm not a restaurant. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And she continued, and the brothers continued to post, and she just kind of went viral. And all of a sudden, people are going to her restaurant, the locals. Then you get the locals, and it expands internationally.
Wow.
People from out the country, from America, from Asia, from all over the place is coming to her house to eat.
Yeah.
And she says that it got so packed that people would sit on the floor to eat, because she didn't think of herself like her. She kept telling people, I'm not a restaurant. I'm just cooking because you guys want me to. Mm-hmm. And the three brothers said, you know what? This is a restaurant. You need a name. So they named it Restaurante because she has a stutter.
I love that.
Yeah. So I love that they used like a negative into a positive, where people used to make fun of her. I love that flip. And it's such an awesome name.
Yeah. It's a representation of part of her as well.
Of who she is.
Right.
Yeah. I just thought it was such a beautiful, so it was like, it's not just food. It's about the person behind the food. And I think that essence comes out in the food when you taste it, when
Sure.
you eat it, and that's what makes it so exciting. That's part of why New York, what makes us so special, is because you have these people from immigrant countries coming to New York
Mhm.
and trying the foods out, and you get to taste their essence from where they're from.
Without having to go there.
Yeah, right.
right.
You don't need a plane ticket, which ties it back in. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Sam. Now, how was that restaurant, the Tibetan restaurant?
It was good. It was good. I had momos, which are kind of their version of dumplings.
Okay.
Very similar to soup dumplings.
Is it?
Yeah. Very similar.
Where would be, I guess, the difference between the traditional Shanghainese, right, soup dumplings versus?
There's
Tibetan?
not as much liquid in there, and it's a little more firm, and they're big on the spice. If you go to a Tibetan restaurant, you have to be careful with the sauces, like the hot sauce. It is spicy. They don't play around with it.
Tibetan food is spicy. Yeah.
I put a little bit on, and my mouth was burning for like an hour. It was bad. I had some kind of
Is it even worse than the halal hot sauce?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
You put some halal
lingers.
hot sauce. Oh my god, I was burning.
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
My mouth was burning.
It can be pretty bad. Had some kind of noodle dish as well. It was a good experience, but just getting there was wild. So
That's the whole experience of the journey of going and experience the food. One part of the journey is experience the food. The other part is actually traveling there.
Yeah. Learning
Now-
about it as well.
I've been having a hankering for Mexican food.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me a good spot in New York City where you can get good Mexican food? And don't say Chipotle.
When you say Mexican, you mean tacos?
I mean, I like
What do you mean?
Chipotle,
What do you mean?
but
What do you mean?
just Mexican food.
Mexican,
Just
okay.
authentic. Like in Cali, the Mexican food is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's good. Texas, I had really good Mexican food. In New York, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It falls. I feel like it falls short, and it could be because I haven't found my spot yet. I haven't
Mhm.
found a good Mexican restaurant that's at their level over there.
To be honest, I think the best Mexican food is inside homes. It's home cooked meals. I think that local deli or bodega where they serve tacos or burrito, whatever it is. I think they make the best food. So it can be tough to find sometimes. My experience with Mexican food is obviously I'm a big fan of tacos. So there's a place in Jackson Heights, and I believe they opened a location in Williamsburg as well. I'm forgetting the last part of the name, but the first part is Brianna something. But if you look it up, it's a food truck, and they make Tijuana style dipping tacos. So you dip it in something called I think it's pronounced casame. I'm not really sure. It's a meat broth, and then the taco itself is marinated. So you just get like a ton of flavor. It's big in LA, and I think they're probably the only ones that do it in New York as well. But I found this place through social media, and I checked it out. Had a really good experience there, and I made a post about it, and all of a sudden all these food bloggers started going there. When I went back just to pass by, before they open at 5 p.m. at night, I saw a line of at least 75 people.
Wow.
And you started.
I didn't start
You
it,
started
but
it.
Wait,
I was
during COVID?
during COVID.
Oh my god.
Holy cow.
It was nuts. They weren't even social distancing.